Hello everyone and welcome to this webinar where I will show you how to build a HTML template. So this is the agenda that we have in front of us today. So I'm gonna do a live demo basic where I will first talk about why you should work with HTML, and then I will of course show you how to build a template and also how easy it is to create a contract from the template. It's good for you to know that agreements are signed up to 8 times faster with live editing, meaning that you can edit the agreements live even after it has been sent, meaning that the counterpart will always see the latest version of the document. Of course, we believe it should be easy to sign regardless of the device that you're using. I'm sure that many of us have at some point opened up a PDF in a mobile phone, which we can see here to the left, where you often need to zoom in and out, scroll up and down. And for me personally, I think that is very confusing because I often lose track of where I am inside of the agreements. But in Oneflow, it is always adapted for the screen that you're using. I also want to highlight here that you have the possibility to work with HTML in Oneflow, and this is of course something that we recommend, because if you, for an example, send out an HTML contract and you realize that you have misspelled a name or a phone number or start date or price or whatever it might be, then you can just do the change in the document and the person on the other side will always receive the latest version of the document. If you had sent out a PDF instead, then you would be forced to go back to your original document, which you may have in a Word file on a computer, do the change there, save it down for as a new version, convert it as a PDF, and then upload it again as a new version. So as you can hear, there are many unnecessary steps that you can lose if you work with HTML. And here we have some good questions. Can PDFs be edited? Can PDFs provide live data? Can PDFs be interactive? Can PDFs play video? And can PDFs be tracked? And the easy answer is no. No PDFs can be edited because it is a locked image. They cannot, of course, provide live data. They cannot be interactive. They cannot play videos, and they cannot be tracked. But if you work with HTML, all of these things are possible. Here we have some reasons why teams all over the world love digital contracts. And of course, there's no recall or resend. You will only work with one version. You're always in control. You can decide which part of your digital contract can be changed and who can do that. It's also, of course, safe and secure. It's dynamic and responsive. You will have a lot of ordning and reda, so that is proper order in Swedish. And of course, you can also integrate your contracts together with different integrations. And now I'm thinking that we should head over to Oneflow. So if you want to work with templates, you need to make sure that you have the right access to that workspace that you're in order to work with templates. But if you have that, then you will be able to click on this icon here that is called templates to the left. Here on template library, we have collected some inspiration for you. So just click here and then you can choose some different inspirations, like for an example, sales proposals or sales quote, NDAs, employment contract, and so on. These 3 first guides here, they are very good if you want to know exactly how you can work with different sections in a template. So please have a look at these different guides before you start because they are very helpful. Here in the list, you will see your different templates that you have in your workspace. So in this case here, we can see that I only have one template, and that is the Get Started Guide Advanced. It's good for you to know that all templates have the unique ID numbers here. And then here you can see when it was created and by who, when was it last updated, is it active or not? As we can see here, now it's active. This means that if I click on new document here to the left, then we can find my template here. So now I can just click on it and create a contract from this template. If I deactivate it, then we can see that next time I click here, we can see that it says no templates. On actions here, we have some different options to work with. You can change the name of it. You can use it just by clicking here, and then you will end up in a draft. But of course, that is possible to go from this button as well. You can share it across different workspaces. You can make an exact copy of it. You can move it to a specific folder, and you can also delete it. If you want to build a new template, you just click on Create Template, and now we can see that we are inside the template view, which we can see here. To the left here in the corner, you can make a name or create a name for the contract or the template, sorry. So let's pretend that we are building a sales agreement today. And this is, of course, something that you can change later as well. You can also add different tags to this specific template, meaning that whenever you are creating a contract from this template, that tag will always follow. And then here you have the 3 dots again with different options to work with. If you want to upload a PDF, then you will go here. But if you will work with HTML, you click on Add Content. These are the different sections that we can work with. So we have text and image. This is exactly what it sounds like, a possibility for you to add different text and different images, maybe logo types and those kind of things. You can also add a video to this template. So that is a really cool feature where you can have like a moving video inside of the templates. You can also work with a product table. So if you're selling different products or services, then you can have them in a nice looking order. You can have form fields, duration, PDF documents, or you can have that PDF as an attachment because this is a stretch PDF and this is only as an attachment. And then we have product summation. So if you have worked with many different product tables, then you can also have a product summation. Today, I have prepared a sales template. So this is the template that I'm going to use as inspiration. So first thing we can see here that in the top, I want to have the company logo inserted. So to do that, I will click on Add Content, and now I'm going to go to Text and Image, and then Add Text and Image. Here in the editor, you have different options to work with. And to the right here, you have the 3 dots where you can easily insert an image. You also have the possibility to drag and drop from your desktop, which I'm going to do now. So now we can see here that I have this image here. If we go back to the template, we can see that we have some text here. So I'm just going to copy this. And then we can see that we have it here. Of course, you have the possibility to change, for example, the header. Maybe you want heading number 2. And maybe you even wanted to make it bold. This logo, maybe you want to have it centered like that, and you can just change the size of it by doing like that. Next, we have some customer information and also the information about the company that sends out this contract. So therefore, we can add different form fields. Like for an example, we have the customer name. Let's see what we else had. We had the street address. We can also click on the cogwheel here to the right to make more columns if we want to. Next up, we had the postcode, city, and country. Then we had a business idea. We can click on this plus sign to make more rows like that. So if you click on this plus sign instead, you will build a new section. But here we are working with the same section, as you can see. We have the commercial contact person. And this is maybe some information that is really important for us to collect. So therefore we can make this a required field, but just by clicking here. And if we click on save, we can see that we have this blue arrow here. So this is like a little post-it note, meaning that we cannot sign this contract unless this field is filled in with some sort of information. So this is a great way to make sure that we collect all of the necessary information in the contract before signing it. We can also merge columns. So if we click here in the bottom, you can see that we have the possibility to merge. So now we have a long field here, and we can also change the size of it if we want it to be a little bit smaller. We can also make a description like that. So now we can see that we have a short description under the field. The last thing we had in this template was email. And then lastly, we had phone number. So as you can see here, you can, of course, again, merge the columns. If you wanted to make it a little bit smaller, then you can just elaborate and see whatever works best for you. If you want to delete a row, you just click on this little trash can here. And of course, you have the possibility to change the order also in this section. Here to the right, we have the cogwheel again. So here you can make sure that you will allow the counterparties to edit field values. Like for an example, if it's not ticked in like it is now, I won't allow the counterparties to edit the field values. But in this case, maybe I want them to be able to do those kind of things. Maybe I will be the one filling in the information. But again, if I've misspelled a name or whatever, they have the possibility to correct that themselves. The next part here was the information about myself. So here we can see that I can just go back to my template, and then I will build a new section here with the, remove section. I'm gonna work with a new form field section. And here I'm gonna write the company name. I can write here already in the template that this should be Oneflow. You can again go back here, see we have the street address here. Next up, we had postcode, zip, and city. And then we have the commercial contact person. Maybe that is always Jane Rabbit, but if it's different persons, then you can just click here, and you can also make a drop-down list. So if you click on type and on drop-down, you can write the different name here. And now you can see that you have the possibility here to select from different persons. Same goes with email. Maybe you want to have that in a drop-down list with different options. And the next was phone number. And maybe we should make that a required field because that is really important for us to collect in this contract. If we again click on the cogwheel here, we can make sure that we won't allow the counterparties to edit this part because this is something that we don't want them to change. We can see here we have some more text here. So I'm just going to copy that, go back to the template, again, click on this little plus sign here, go to text and image, and then just fill in or copy, paste the information. Now maybe we realize that this is a quite boring contract. So maybe we want to have different images or different videos maybe. Then we can just go wherever we want, just clicking on the plus sign again, go to video, and then we can just drag and drop our video into this. This can take a few seconds depending on how big this video is in order to upload it, but we can simply just keep on moving here and see that in this part here, we have the agreement period. So if we click on duration, select a duration that is suitable for us, maybe it's a recurring period, then here we can, of course, just change if we want it to be 16 months, for an example, with a notice period of 4 months instead. Clicking on the cogwheel to the right again, we have some different options to work with. So here you can just elaborate and see exactly how you want to work. The video has now been uploaded here, and if you click on small, then it becomes smaller. You can have full width, bigger, and also add different titles and so on. So here we have this video now playing. Again, this is a really cool feature, so I recommend you all to try this out because this will make the contract so much more fun. Again, you can just keep on adding different images if you want to have more nice, appealing looking contracts. And then, of course, you can have different attachments also here in the bottom, for an example. So now we have this PDF here, which of course you can view just by clicking on view. And you can also download it or remove it or add more. Don't forget to click on Save Template Changes once in a while, because we don't have an autosave here in this editor. So just make sure that you click there once in a while so you don't lose all of the work that you've put into this template. To the right here in the top corner, we have something called Settings. So here you can require attachment signatures, for an example. You can enable or disable the comments function, meaning this comments function that you will have when you're creating a contract from this template. You can select the signing period. Per default, it's always 14 days, but just click here and choose if you want it to be longer or shorter, or maybe you just don't want it to expire at all. We have a duration reminder here, and the reason why we have that is only because we have this section here in this template. So here you can select how many days before notice period that you want to get reminded. Maybe you want to get reminded 45 days for the specific contract before the notice period ends. This is also something that is really important to remember, that this duration is, of course, only something that goes out to only you and your possible colleagues in this contract, so never to the counterpart. You can also add a welcome video. So this is a video that will play automatically when a counterparty opens a document for the first time. So again, this is a really cool feature. So it's not the same as this video here, because this is a part of the template, but this is only to have like a welcome video to make it, to make the contract a little bit more fun to open. You can also have some different defaults here, like for an example, will you send this to a company or to an individual? What should the delivery channel type be? You can choose different sign methods for this specific template. You can also choose to have a two-factor authentication method, a creator role, meaning that whoever creates this contract from this template, what should they do? Should they always sign the contract? Should they influence it, or should they organize it? I can also mention that none of these things are forced. This is only a way to be a little bit more efficient when you are working in with this template. But of course, everything is possible to change if it's a unique case where you need to work differently. You can also select to save new documents to a specific folder inside of the archive. And then here we have something called formatting. So here you can see that you can change different fonts. Maybe you want to have a font called Questio. Now we can see that the text here, it changes to another font. So maybe we can try to have Poppins. We can change the size of it. Maybe we want it to be a little bit bigger. And then, of course, we can change the color, if we want it to be red or blue, for example. If you want to use the template straight away, you just click on Use Template, then you will end up in a draft. But now it is stored here in templates. So now we can see here that I have the sales agreement. If I want to activate it, I just click here. And then next time I click here, we can see that I can use the template. Here we can see that now we are inside of a draft. Of course, you can change the name of this future contract to whatever you want it to be. Contracts name are not visible to counterparty, so that is something that is good to be, that you should remember. We can, of course, always change different information here. Maybe we want to add the postcode here, for an example. We should now select the commercial contact person, and then, of course, fill in the phone number here and save the changes. As you can see, I cannot click on send now because I have a missing participant, but this is something that is easily achieved here on participants. Here we have myself. I can add my colleagues to this contract. Maybe I want my colleague Nicole to be a part of this. She should also sign this. I will use sign method standard e-signature for her. And now we can see that she also appears in the list here. When adding a counterparty, I will just click on add counterparty here and select if this is a company or an individual. But if you remember, when I built the template, I selected individual instead of company. So here I can just keep on working with the settings that we'll find here. Signing method was also standard e-signature on template level, and same goes with delivery channel. But of course, as you can see, this is something I can easily just change here. I have some additional options here as well, like signing order and sign later. And if I want to use any of those, I just toggle them, and then I can just click on send. And then we will successfully send this document. So this was the last part of this webinar. I hope you learned something. If you have more questions, don't hesitate to go to our help center that you will find here in the bottom left corner called help. Just search for your questions there or send in a ticket to our support and they will help you. Thank you so much for listening today, and I wish you a very nice day. Bye-bye.